All right, we are going to do Amazon Prime 2023 October. I don't stream that often, but I wanted to try and get better at doing this so I can do it more often, specifically for these Amazon Prime days because they have some really good deals. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through and just see what we can find. I'm going to check and make sure the stream is doing good here in a second. I'm going to make sure that the audio levels are doing okay. And chat is usually delayed. I'm using OBS here. So we're going to see how that does just in terms of the delays. It's also weird middle of the day trying to, I don't know how many people are going to tune in general, just because I don't stream often, but just middle of the day, people at work watching live streams. It's interesting when I watch Dr. Disrespect's stuff. Just based off what I do, I actually have middle of the day off, so I can. But I'll see he has like 30 to 60,000 people watching his streams, which is always crazy during the middle of the day. So to me, it's always like how are people watching him? So let's see here. Yeah, we're good. All right, let's roll through some deals here. And then in the description, I'm going to put a link. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up so that I can. So I'll have a link in the description. If you guys click on that, it's just going to take you to Amazon. And it just helps with essentially monetization towards me, because this is an affiliate link and I want to be totally transparent with that. If you guys click on that, I get some small cut back, and that of course just helps out the channel here. But let's run through, wrong one. Let's run through Amazon here. Okay. If you guys have questions, by the way, just hit me up in the comment section. If there's anything you specifically want to see, I'm going to run through all of this stuff, and then I'll probably go back through and actually add all of this to the description as well, so that if you're seeing this and it's not obviously the live stream, you can see like, oh, what are these deals going on? Keep in mind, it's just going to be for these 2 days here. So let's start. I'm just going to start with Razer. I was trying to figure out how I'm going to go through this. Probably just going to do it based off brand, and I'm going to try and cover as much as possible here. And I'm going to be hiding the screen sometimes too, just so I can update some of this stuff. Logitech, and this is a different brand, but it's right at the top here. It is sponsored. Logitech G535 Lightspeed. I have not used this. I like the old version of this. I did a review on the channel. I've heard this one is quite good in terms of the sound quality. It is lighter. The other one was quite bulky. So I use Logitech for all of my peripherals, and the headset was heavier. It was bulkier. This one much improved. The connection with all of their products is always top notch. So solid deal. So we're looking at normally $130 down to $79. You see this quite regularly, just because at this point this is, I don't know, probably 2-3 years old. So solid deal though. But you will see this again for Black Friday and towards Christmas. Keep that in mind. Razer Wolverine V2. So that this is this the? I've been looking at this. I've been looking at the new PlayStation one. I might pick up the Xbox One though, because this should be completely wireless. It is the second version. We're looking at normally $150 down to $87. That's a solid deal. You're looking at 50% off almost right there. Very, very good. I haven't used this controller yet, but this one I'm actually probably going to pick up for myself because this has been on my list. I like the look of the PlayStation 1 probably over this one, just to mix it up, because I use a Elite 2 controller. But I'm curious about how the connection is. And with the new PlayStation one, it does come with a dongle, but it's $250. And it's still the V2. But yeah, this one says wired gaming pro. Let me click on this. Do you even have a wireless option with this? Or you have to keep this wired the whole time? It's not. It's chroma, so it has lights on it. So you have all the remapping, hair trigger mode, tactile. There's a Razer V2 Pro right here with hyperspeed. This one's saying $178. We'll look at that here in a second. Yeah, this isn't looking wireless. I don't think this is wireless. I'd want the wireless version. No wireless here. Wired controller for even on sale for $87. I'm not gonna say it's not a good controller because I haven't used it, but still, if it's wired, I don't like. In general, $150 for a wired controller, and then the discount is $87. Just get a wireless Xbox controller. But if you are looking at this, I mean, it is close to half price off here. I want to look at the PlayStation one though. Let's see, where was that? Right here. Is this the newest one? This is renewed. This is wireless. Okay, so this is the new one though. V2 Chroma controller. You just have that. It always feels risky buying those renewed products. I'd pass on that. Razer DeathAdder. Use the old version of this. I really like this controller. This is the V2 Pro. Normally $158. That's a solid deal. I really like that. Noma Chroma. I've looked at these for a long time. They've always been just the price has been too much. Discount here is not a ton, so I'd still pass on this unless I just absolutely need speakers. Kulo Light, Stream Desk, One Touch. I think Random Frank P just covered this or something very similar. I mean, discount right here, you're looking at $40 if you do streaming. I'm slowly getting hopefully more into it, so we'll see with this. Good discount, but different product. All right, Razer Barracuda. Normally $159, now $99. I got mine on sale for $99 when I bought it, so it's kind of the sale price that I got mine for. I've thought about doing this video for a while now because the Razer Barracuda is still like top spot in terms of like wireless headsets for me. It's just my favorite wireless headset. The sound overall is really good, but the big thing here, obviously it has to have good sound, and it does have that, but it's the lightest wireless headset that I've used, and it is extremely versatile because you have the USB Type-C input, or you could do the audio jack on this, but it's going to connect to anything. And so I've been using it with the Steam Deck, with the ROG Ally, with the One X Player 2. I've used it on the PC. I've used it on my laptop. Only thing I really haven't used it on is my phone, just because it's the Lightning port. But now that the new iPhone has the USB Type-C, I mean, you could use it with that as well. You can use it on the Nintendo Switch. I've used it on that. It is just, it's extremely light. It has really good sound with it, and you get 40 hours on the charge. So solid product. This is, to me, it's a standard deal because again, I paid $99 for mine, but if you can get it, I don't know that it's going to go lower than this for a while. I would pick this up for sure. The HyperX, this is a sponsored thing. It's not Razer. Normally $159. We're looking at $109.99. I've heard good things about this. I have not used this microphone here. I do like HyperX. We're looking at $50 off. That's a solid deal, but I've seen this on sale quite regularly too. So that's something else to keep in mind with a lot of these deals. Are you going to see it again? So if you're not really pushed to get it right now and it's like, I don't know if I can afford it, you can always wait. Razer Quick Charge Stand, $18. You can find other brands unless you really want Razer. I mean, they are usually $20. So that's kind of run of the mill. Universal Quick Charge, run of the mill. Huntsman V2. Heard good things about the V2 here on the Huntsman and the Black Widow V3. $100 off on this Huntsman 2. That is a solid deal. I've been looking at an upgrade for my second rig also, so I may look into some of the new Razer keyboards here. But that to me would be a solid deal. But again, $150 for a keyboard, that's also something to consider here. It's just very expensive depending on whether or not you need all the keys on this and then the multimedia keys as well. Razer Black Widow V3, $20 off. Same thing here. I've heard really good things about this, especially with it being the 10 keyless here. Just smaller if you like that style of keyboard. Performance wise, I've heard it's really solid, but not a massive discount there. And it's not even saying that's an Amazon Prime deal anyways. Asus ROG Spatha. This has been on my list for a while to review. I like the docking station. They kind of, to me, it's like the Viper 2 with Razer. You have that little dock, and I mean, $30 off here. This one has just been, in terms of price, it's been high for a long time. I like all the mappable buttons, but I haven't heard a bunch on this. But I am a huge fan of, I say ROG, R-O-G. I have the, and we'll look at monitors here in a little bit, but I'm currently using the PG42UQ OLED monitor. So I have that. I think my motherboard is ROG. There's a lot of products that I do use from them. I like the build quality on everything, but that's just high for a mouse. Razer Nari Ultimate, I just reviewed this. That review came out last Friday. With that, one of the things, now this is renewed, keep that in mind. That's where you're seeing the price here. We're going to look at hopefully just that not renewed. One of the things I proposed in that though is it came out in 2018, $200. You usually see it at half price. At $100, is it worth it? And personally, I think it is. I like the, what do they call it? It's the haptic feedback here, but they call it something specific. It's like HyperSense. Very cool, very unique, but you definitely you're going to want that feature, because if you don't, it's just going to annoy you. If you do like the rumble and stuff like that, I think it's a pretty cool feature on the headset. Just the next level of immersion when gaming. And there's a ton of customization for it. The audio with it is top notch. The microphone, it sounds old. It sounds very tinny. So if you need it for content creation, don't go for that for sure. Razer Kara X, this is wired. Got a discount here. I mean, $40 for a Razer headset. That's a pretty solid deal. You're getting most of the stuff that you're finding with a lot of the other headsets in terms of the 50mm drivers and stuff like that. I do like their cushions on these too, the memory foam cushions. These are a lot lighter than the wireless ones as well, so not a lot of pressure on the head. Chargy dock stuff, Razer Viper. This one's pink. No Prime deal here, but it is discounted. Normally $80. We got it down to 48. Nice. Let's see what our next page here is. Razer Black Shark. I haven't tried this, the V2. I have been curious about this. It just has a unique look to it. Comfort would be one thing that I'd want to know on this, but the fact that it is wired should mean that it is a little bit lighter, but it is a different look compared to the other headsets that they have. Normally $100, $59, so $40 off. Pretty solid. Razer Basilisk. Yeah, Basilisk V3. This is wired. This isn't the wireless version. I haven't tried this mouse out yet. Have I? I don't think I have. $69, now $43. If you need a wired mic, I mean, the Razer mice. The Razer mice to me are solid. I've used the Viper V2 for a long time. Really like that mouse. This one should be solid on the performance as well. All the videos that I've seen on it, they just say that it has really good performance. Gobi, I'll check into Gobi a little bit more later. I did a video 2 weeks ago. With that, I have the Dream View Pro. It uses these right here, and then it has a strip with it as well that is like, I don't know, it's encapsulated, so it's not just like a really thin RGB LED light strip. It's thick because it has a ton of rubber on top of it. You put that on the back of the monitor, but it has these light bars as well. And then I've paired that with the M1 LED light strip for my setup, and you get to sync all of them together. So can't remember what the mode is called, but with that, these things will sync together with other products. So if you want to create, just in terms of immersion with your RGB light setup, this is a good product to have, and you don't need the other strip if you don't want it. So basically you could make your own style with this, which is cool. Normally $89.99, $54.99. So I mean, what, $35 off? That's a solid deal. I like this product. I like the lighting that it does provide here. It doesn't come with the camera and the other things though. I guess that'd be the downside here. So it has scenes built for gamers. This doesn't come with a camera though. Make your lighting sexy for own game mode. You would want the lighting with it to sync, because that's the big thing, is it you get one of the little cameras with it. And that is where, in terms of immersion, it takes it to the next level. We'll look in that here in a little bit, because I am going to highlight Gobi in a little bit. HyperX Pulsefire, normally $80 down to $49, $20 off. That looks like 61 grams. That's a very light mouse. I haven't tried the HyperX Pulsefire Haste. I have tried the HyperX Pulsefire. I really liked that mouse. With this, we're looking at something that has the honeycomb on it, so it just makes it overall much lighter. And HyperX, to me, the mice have always been really good, so that looks like a decent deal. Again, you're looking at $50 for a wireless mouse. That's pretty good. 100-hour battery life. Doesn't look like you really have RGB lighting, maybe on the side there, so not something that's going to drain the battery a ton. I think that is... Dude, Razer has a lot more than that. We're just going to have to go in and check out the actual store here. All right, let's check out some webcams. Let's see what we got here. If it's even going to... you have to click on everything every single time you want to pull stuff up, huh? Razer Kaio Pro streaming webcam. Normally $200, now $80. That's a really good deal. When this first came out, all the reviews that I saw on it said it was pretty good. I don't know. At this point, the one I have, I forget the name of it right now that I reviewed. It does this cool effect. I'm going to back up here. Let's see if it'll follow me. I don't know that it'll do it. There we go. All right, so it's going to follow my face. So it has AI tracking with it. I don't know that this has something like that. Let's scoot back in here. So, but this one was like $250. So way more expensive. It just depends. Do you need features like that? I'm sure this is, I mean, to me, 60% off, the solid deal, but it seems like this tech is getting older at this point. They're going to need to update some of this stuff here. The lighting on it is great though, more compact. There are cool features with it, right? We have another one here. This is normally $100. It's $48. So if you need that webcam, could be a good option for you. 1080p, 30 FPS, or 720p at 60 FPS. This other one was 1080p at 60 FPS. So you do have that. James Zeppelin. Thanks, man. Thanks for the comment. Appreciate it. If you see anything that catches your eye, let me know. Or if there's anything that you want me to look into for you, definitely let me know here. Let's just look at mice. Will it take me to overall? No. DeathAdder. $100. No deal. We already looked at this one. All right, here we go. I like the look of that. Very cool look. Just the one. All right, just one deal there. Laptops, I know I saw a bunch, but man, you get into like expensive territory with this. Let's just click on one. I'm not showing deals now. Saw deals earlier, not seeing them now. So no deals on laptops. All right, just click on deals. How about that? There we go. All right. Razer Black Shark V2. This one's green. The other one was black. 33% off. 39. I think that's going to be a good deal for most people. Was this the one? Because it said 150 bucks, $99. Now this one's saying 69. Is this one renewed? It is not. Okay. I'm going to say this is one of their really, really good deals. Again, for me, this is my favorite wireless gaming headset. 50 hours battery. This is the same one. Yeah. Detachable microphone, all the software controls. It'll plug into anything. This one seems different though. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it was, oh, the other one was the Pro. Oh, there's multiple tiers to this stuff. So we have the Barracuda X, Barracuda Pro, Barracuda. I think I had the Barracuda X, this one. They're all extremely light, I'm going to assume. You have the USB Type-C. The only thing I don't like is the dongle shape, because it takes up more space. They need to just have it so certain things it's a pain. I had to, for my ROG Ally, get a connector so that I could utilize it with that. Bluetooth. So it should be this one that I got. Yeah. Okay, so these have the bigger drivers in them. Different on the Barracuda Pro because you're looking at the memory foam in terms of the covering of it isn't the same fabric. It's like that pleather. All right, so we have that. That's a good deal. Like I said, favorite headset right there. Wolverine, we already checked out all this other stuff. All right. Gaming laptop stuff. Here we go. Now we have some deals. So 40% off the Razer Blade 15 37 Ti. I'm not in the market for a laptop. I actually have never used a Razer laptop or owned one. Mine is the, what do I have? I have a Strix Scar 3. Let's see, and then it's just going to go through the same stuff. All right, let's move on. In terms of brands, let's go Corsair. Let's see what Corsair has on sale right now. Really just looking for the deals here. Corsair Sai Midar. That's some of the naming on this stuff, man. RGB Elite, normally 80 bucks now, so you get 20 bucks off. Man, decent, but it's a wired controller at 60 bucks. I haven't used these little triangle lights that you can put inside of a PC. I've always liked the look. This is the Eureka ergonomic standing glass desk here. I've always liked the look of this, but the price is crazy high. But I do believe you get all the RGB lighting with it and stuff that looks cool, but it's not a stand-up desk. It doesn't adjust. We got 130 bucks off on this, but still $500 desk. That's a lot of money. Corsair M65. This is wireless, normally 130 bucks. Got it for 78. So what are we looking at there? 50 bucks off? Not bad. Aesthetics look really cool on this. Seeing just some price changes on this. The hard part here is, I mean, we're going to look more specifically towards the Prime Big Deal. A lot of these may have other deals, like this is $50 off, right, for the Corsair K100. I've used this solid keyboard, but, or this, I've used the old version, not the new version. I haven't used the OPX switches. But, so we have $50 off on that. Sometimes Amazon does that. I don't know if the bigger brands do it. They're like, the normal price is this, and then they give you the price, but they've buffered those numbers so that it's almost like they're pulling one up on you. So you think like, oh, I'm getting a deal, but they always have it listed like that. It's just so that you think you're getting a deal and they're selling it really at their regular price. Corsair HS80 RGB. So I haven't used the RGB version. I've used the regular version of this, and heavier. So something to keep in mind. I don't like a ton of weight on my head when I'm using a wireless headset. It had a little bit more weight than some of the other ones I've used in the past, but looking here, normally 150 bucks. We got it for 112. So almost 40 bucks off. Decent. Corsair Virtuoso. I've heard this headset is really good. I have not used it personally, but 50 bucks off on that. Asus ROG Azoth wireless do-it-yourself custom keyboard. Saw some reviews on this. They all said it was actually really, really good. It is expensive, $250. I mean, you get 16% off, so it's down to $209. That's still super expensive. Corsair MP600 Pro 4 terabytes M.2 for 128 bucks. That's pretty good. I remember buying my 2 terabyte for 250 bucks a couple years ago. Optimized for PlayStation 5 too. Good deal there. Let's see, Logitech G Astro. These are the ones I believe you can customize too. A30 Lightspeed, normally 230 bucks, right now $178. So what are we getting there? Close to 50 bucks off, or a little over 50, right? $51. Not bad. Look wise, definitely you're gonna have to like those aesthetics there. Corsair K60, right? More basic keyboard here, but you got the Cherry mechanical switches. Normally 80 bucks, now 44. Again, it's not listed, but this is renewed. That's where I always have to look out the side there. If you don't mind that, that's good price on that. IQ H100i. So we have an AOI here. We're only looking at like, what, 25 bucks off. Not a prime deal. We've already seen these. Getting some on some of their pre-builts. I'm not going to dive too much into that. Let's see what else we got. Rocket, we'll have to look at Rocket here in a second. The Vulcan Pro linear optical. I haven't used the linear opticals. What was my Vulcan? I can't remember the name on it, but I've used the Vulcan here. The keyboard, I really liked it. With the what was the mouse? What was the pairing on the mouse that I had? This is the brand that sponsors Dr. Disrespect. I used their mouse. I really like the mouse. I like the feel of it. Oh, here's the one I used. The Corsair HS70 Pro. Normally 109, now 79. I mean, this thing's been out for a while. It's probably shown its age at this point. But again, for me, it was the weight. The sound quality was great. It's just a heavier wireless headset. Asus ROG Fusion 2 300 gaming headset. AI beamforming mic with noise cancellation. Normally $139.99, right now $74.99, so 60, almost 60 bucks off, or 65 bucks off, right? 30, yeah. 46% off. That looks, but this is wired. It always throws me for a loop when we get these crazy prices on wired headsets. Clear up. Voice pickup for high quality voice communication. Virtual 7.1 surround sound. Get the two different ear cushion options here, like that. It's kind of piquing my interest. No info on it on the listing down here. Nah. $30 off on the HX 1000i modular power supply unit. This is platinum efficiency. I mean, if you're getting some of these crazy beefy, like the 4090 GPUs here that need all that power, you got a deal. But usually I'm expecting to pay somewhere in the 200s for 1000-watt power supply unit. Thinking that's it for Corsair. Steel Series, we'll look at Steel Series also. Let's go Rocket. Let's just check out their store. Whoa. Hold on. 56% off. Normally $159.99 for the Vulcan Pro. The Vulcan 121 is the one I had. There it is. Does this have a discount? Normally $120, right now $79. I liked this keyboard. My main complaint was the wrist rest. I don't like the ones that are hard plastic. I think this other one has it also. But for the Pro here, it's even cheaper. $159.99 down to $70. That's just Titan switch. Optical switch here. I think the media keys at this point, because you're seeing a lot of them that have keys and more dials and stuff like that. I think it'll be fine, but it is starting to show its age a little bit on this. But if you need a solid mechanical keyboard here, you can go linear. Is tactile going to be the same discount? So linear is the one that is more expensive, but regardless, they're both $69.99. Solid deal there. Let's check out the Rocket store. Let's check out our mice here. I've wanted to try the Cone. So this came out, what, a year or two ago? This is their new ones. Like the look, same docking station style that we have with some of the other, like the Razer Viper. Cone XP, wired version of it. I'm a wireless mouse guy, not big on the wired mice typically. Burst Pro Air. That looks cool. This caught my eye also. Like the look in terms of the aesthetics, but it's basically the Cone, which was so this is a Cone Pro, the 66 gram one, 67, no deal there. Cone Pro Air, this is the one. Cone Pro Air. It's got to be that one that I reviewed. I know it was the Cone. Believe it's this one. Oh, the look is off though. Let's see if we can track it down. Not seeing any deals down here though on these. There you go, 28% off on Cone Amo, which is their lighting effect. It's cool. You don't get a ton of customization with it. 32% off. You can get one of the Rocket mice here for $27. Rocket Burst Pro, 5% off. That's nothing. 30% off on the Cone Pro Air. Yeah, I think I got the previous version of the Cone Pro. 14% on the Cone XP. 14% off on the other version. Yeah, they're alright. They're not great deals. The keyboard was really good. Scroll down to the bottom here and see what we can see. Alright, let's get into it. Oh yeah, I forgot they came out with a version that the wrist rest has lighting effects in it. But that means it's going to be hard plastic. Not a fan. USB Vulcan 2 Mini, 17% off. Here's that big deal that we had right there. 20% off the TKL Pro, 10 keyless. So the 10 keyless version of the Vulcan Pro that I had over here. This is the one I reviewed. 42% off there. I think that's a good deal. And same thing, some lighter ones. TKL. So this one, if you get it Titan switch, it's just the difference in the gunmetal versus this like all black. A little bit more of a discount. Vulcan 120 ammo, 33% off here. Good deal there. Same thing here, 33% off. I think that'll be it on the keyboards. Sin Max chargers. I've reviewed the Sin Pro. It was all right. I don't know. I was expecting more. I've done the ELO, by the way, as well. Heavy, ton of pressure on my ears. Wasn't the biggest fan, honestly. Sound quality was good, but just more the fit. $69 for the wired version. It's ELO X stereo. Maybe a better option if you really want to go with Rocket on that. Sin Buds Air True wireless earbuds. Seems like every brand's creating their own wireless earbuds now. $50. I mean, for a pair of wireless earbuds, it could be a solid deal. Because most of the time for like off-brand, you're finding that they're $30 to $60, right? So it's solid. Sin Pro 70. Nah, that's not a good deal. ELO, yeah, I'd skip these. In terms of, like I said, I've reviewed all of these. For the price, they should just be cheaper at this point because they've been out for a long time. Sound quality, again, was good. It just wasn't... the fit wasn't great. So I would notice that my ears would ache when using them for a long period of time. Here it is, the Rocket Cane 200 wireless mouse. There we go. That's one I reviewed. Solid mouse. Loved the fit. The performance was great. Just felt good in the hand. Still, I mean, 18% off. That's still an expensive mic. Like, this should be $50 at this point. It's been out for so long. They've already moved on to their updated versions of everything. Yeah, I'm not going to say. I love that mouse, but it should be cheaper at this point. All right, let's move on to a different. So we've done Rocket. Let's do, what was the other one? SteelSeries. I've wanted to try their speakers for a long time, but like this is always $300. They had 20% off now, so $240. It's still just super expensive for that. We'll check out Logitech after this and see if the G915 speaker is the one I use, if that's cheaper, because those are really, really good. I've had these now for like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. I love them. This isn't even on a discount. This is, you get more speakers. $550 though. That's a lot of money. SteelSeries new Arctis Nova 3. I didn't review that one. I think I reviewed this one. No, I reviewed the old version of this. I haven't reviewed any of the updated versions, but normally $100, $60, you get 40% off there. I'd say that's a solid deal. But again, it is a like wired headset. You're not dealing with a wireless headset there. Normally $180, so you're getting $30 off. I haven't used this, but I have heard good things about it. This one too. This one, I wanted to review it, but I was like, dude, $350 for a headset. I looked at all the reviews and they were like, yeah, it sounds great, like cool features with the DAC that you get with it, the DAC unit right there, but like $350, that's a crazy price. And that's what everybody said. Performance is awesome, but not $350 awesome. Even with that deal, I don't know that I'd take it unless you just have a lot of cash to throw around. The Rival 650 Quantum Wireless. This has been on my list to review for a long time. I just like the look of it. It looks really cool. But I was also curious about how it would feel and perform in the hand. Not the same. So it's 12,000 CPI. Is that a typo? Not DPI? I don't know. Adjustable weight though in it, and it is wireless, so I like that. I already looked at that. Here's the one. I can't remember if it was the Arctis 9 or 7 that I did, but wireless here. $50 off. That not listing it as a deal though. Nova 4 wireless, normally $120, looking at about $40 off. Not bad. Arctis 1, $40 off almost. SteelSeries Arctis Pro. Plus you get the game DAC with that. Normally, but this is the old version, so normally it's $250, so you're looking at 110 off, but it's the old version. Keep that in mind. Arctis One wired headset if you just need something, solid deal. That's pre-owned, that's why. Arox 5. I reviewed this. This was a solid mouse. But again, we're seeing a lot of these things where there's not that it has to be brand new, but when the mouse itself has been out for, at this point, like close to 3 years, maybe a little bit longer. Performance was really good with this. It is lighter. I really liked it. $140. I wouldn't pay that price for sure. $94. It's like I'm on the fence on it. Should be lower. Like this should be at this point like a $70 to $80 mouse, especially when they're coming out with these newer versions of all this stuff. Rival 5, haven't tried that wired version of the wireless one that I was looking at. Normally $59, now we're looking at $40. I'd say that's a decent deal. SteelSeries Arox 3, normally $40, you can get it for $28.79 and save 10% on top of that. That probably pretty solid, but 8500 CPI, so they're doing CPI, so it's got to mean something different than DPI. Wondering if that's the I always forget the way they're doing the sensor based now. It's different with how it does it, which is why they call it CPI. Here we go. Arox 3, not the 5. It's a different version. Normally $99.99. Get it for $63. I'd say that's pretty good. So you can get it for $64 here, wireless mouse, and that is going to most likely have good performance like the 5 has, but it is probably going to lack some of the features. You can just buy the game DAC if you wanted Gen 2. If you wanted normally $130, you can get it for $90. Designed for Xbox. If you need one, but I know there are a lot of other options out there right now, so keep that in mind. I think that's going to be it. Yeah, because then we start getting into other brands here. Now we got some keyboards. SteelSeries new Apex 9. Normally $140, got it for $92. I'm using Apex 7 or Apex 5. Good. Has a little screen on it. You can customize that. I found I just don't even use it. So cool idea, but it's just, are you going to end up using it? This is a big question. You can download presets and things like that, and you can make your own little things, but some people have made certain things that like pop-up notifications or like a game may utilize it or something like that, but it's just, I forgot about it. It's like, I'm not even going to use it. Go one tier over. Red Dragon. Use their stuff. They're pretty good. All right, let's move over to Logitech. Mono sound from the left speaker only. Shouldn't be based off my setup, so not sure why it would be doing that. Yeah, shouldn't be doing that. Audio monitoring, mic, active. It's split down the middle, so the balance should be both sides. Yeah, I wouldn't know why it's doing that, so I'll have to figure it out later, though, unfortunately. All right, Logitech. Let's see, G502X, normally 80 bucks, now 50. I'm using the wireless version of this. I really like this mouse. So very popular mouse. I mean, anytime you can find it on sale, depending on whether or not you want the wired or wireless, I mean, take the deal. I think that's a solid price for the amount of performance that you get out of it. G305, if you just need something light and super basic, normally 50 bucks, 34. It is wireless. 250 hours of battery life on that too. Very solid. I'd take that deal. Logitech C920X. I haven't used the C920X. I've used the C920. When I bought that one, it was 100 bucks. I'm sure it's cheaper now, but $69.99, you get like 10 bucks off. Just depends on what type of webcam you need, I guess. I do like their software. It integrates with a lot of other things, and it's easy to use, so that is a plus. Xmaster, no. Let's look at the gaming stuff here. What is this, League of Legends? Normally 130 bucks, 87. I guess if you play a lot of League of Legends, you can get that. G Pro, this just came out, so I figured that wasn't going to be on sale. 250 bucks. That's just, man, some of those headsets are coming out that are so expensive like that. Still blows me away. We're just going to have to click on the brand. We're not popping up with a ton of stuff on this. Let's see what we got. Featured deals. Here we go. All right. G Pro X Super Light. I have the G Pro. I don't have the Super Light. I do like it, and I use the Power Play mat, so I don't ever have to plug in the wireless G502. It just is charged by the mat, which is really cool. But I have used the regular version of this, and I really like it. Actually, my son bought it from me, so he has it right now. So he uses it with his G Pro keyboard that we got him for Christmas. 31% off, 110 bucks. It is a solid mouse. I mean, deal wise, it's in line. To me, it's a standard deal. I don't know if it's anything special, but I do like the mouse. This is the upgraded version here. The G915. This is the keyboard I've used now for 3 years. They've kept the price up. It is always high. It is always $220, $230 up to $250. Anytime you can find it on sale and you really want that keyboard, I would try to snag it up. It's my favorite keyboard that I've used. So 180 bucks. I mean, the price in general hasn't come down for a long time. I don't know that it is for a while, even though they've come out with other products. So you're getting a deal on it, 28% off here. But it is an expensive keyboard, but I really love mine. So solid performance, the lighting effects, battery life on it is great. The connection, especially with the light speed, it's just a really solid keyboard here. But you do have to like that lower profile, like keycap style, because it is just a low profile wireless keyboard here. Moving on, we got the Logitech G923 racing wheel. I don't do racing stuff, but dang, normally 460 bucks, you can get it for 300. So 35% off. That's a good deal. I don't do the racing stuff, but that's expensive. I didn't realize it was that expensive. Logitech G502X Plus Millennium Falcon Edition. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right, if you need a mouse and you're into Star Wars stuff, it doesn't look like there's a discount here, but that's pretty cool. What is this, Mandalorian? What is this? Yeah, Mandalorian edition. What do we have? White or black? Oh, that's the Astro headset, right? So the Mandalorian edition. It's 40% off, I guess, if you're really big into the Mandalorian to the point that you want a headset with that on there. There you go. It is on sale, 40% off. I don't know how the performance is on that, though. I didn't even know Logitech was doing like Star Wars themed stuff here. So no deals on this, but if you want that's pretty cool. actually. The Darth Vader large mat here, 50 bucks. More deals on our racing wheels. So PlayStation 1 here, G29, 33% off. Same for the G920. So we're looking at 200 bucks instead of 300. Deal. And then if you're doing any type of flight simulation stuff, 16% off. Not as good of a deal. We've already seen this stuff. Astro Gaming, you can customize these, by the way. So if you do want something that is more customizable, this is Xbox and this is PlayStation. Dun, dun, dun. What do we got here? Same stuff. G703, the first mouse that I reviewed. So normally 100 bucks. Right now it's 40% off, $59.99. In terms of feel, I don't know. It's like if you like a heavier mouse, it's one. You have, on my part, just the nostalgia of it being like the first like legit gaming mouse that I got and the first one that I reviewed. So there is that to it. But in terms of feel, it's basically what I've compared everything else that I've gotten over the years to. I still really like the G703. Feel, performance, really good mouse. $60 to me is a price that it should just be at this point, though. So a deal, it's still a good mouse. I'm not saying it's not. Like I said, performance, feel, all that other stuff. But again, it's been out for so long at this point. And they've come out with so many other products also at this point. Figured push all that stuff down. I would still get this today, by the way. So even though I don't know that I would consider this a huge deal, I would still buy this mouse just because I like it that much. 705, never used it. Wireless, same thing, 40% off. G303, that looks like an odd shape. It's like tight on the fingers if you're going to be using it. Logitech GX Shroud. Is that Shroud's mouse that he uses? I don't know. I've never used one like that, but 38% off on that. The G535. So you have the wired and wireless version. I've covered the wired version earlier because I think they had that advertised. Wireless, normally 130 bucks, so 38% off here. And I think at 79 bucks, I've gone back and forth on this as to whether or not I would want to review this. Tempted to. I don't know that I need to buy it right now because I think we're going to see, especially with a lot of these deals, you're going to see it again for Black Friday, for Cyber Monday, and then around Christmas. So I may just wait on that one. 44% off on the G435. Different look to it. I'm curious about that headband, how that moves. 44% off though. Wireless and Bluetooth wireless here. I'd say that's a solid deal. Here's my speakers, the G560 that I mentioned earlier. Normally 200 bucks. They've kept that price the same on these as well. 160 bucks. If you can get this on a deal, this is an incredible set of speakers with the subwoofer. It gets incredibly loud to the point where I don't know that you would ever truly have it on full blast. And then the lighting on it is great. So it does the immersion effect. So it's basically you put screens, little boxes on the screen through the software. So you just highlight, hey, these are the areas that I want the LED lights on the speakers to mimic those colors that are popping up on screen. Very cool effect. And the lights get quite bright. And then again, you pair that with the Govee immersion, if you do have that, the DreamView Pro and some of the other stuff, and it just creates a very cool overall lighting effect. Logitech G213 Prodigy gaming keyboard, 39% off. My son had this one. Decent. Entry level keyboard, but decent. 42 bucks, very solid there. G815 mechanical keyboard, so a plug-in version of the G19. Normally $200, now $139. If you don't need the wireless with the G915, solid option here, 30% off. Then you have the 10 keyless here, so same thing. It's the G915, but just you don't get the number pad on the side here if you don't need that extra amount of keys, just like right here, right? So smaller overall profile, 33% off, solid. But these, I don't think we're going to see these prices come down. They're just still too popular with that. The hard gaming mouse pad, no deal there really. They're earbuds. 30% off, and they're normally $230. That's just too expensive. I've not used them, but to me, that's too expensive. Even with the deal, $160, that's too expensive. Large, thick gaming mouse pad. So we have 33% off these. I actually need to get another one. That's the only downside I've noticed with the, which they didn't even do that power play thing, did they? Let's see if I can find it. So power play, 11% off. That's not a really big deal. I mean, you could pair it, and I've used the G. That's not the 703. Thought that was the G915. I think they have that mislabeled. Here's my mouse, 34% off, $98.99. I think I got mine for $120, so I think you'll see these deals again. It still earns that higher price tag. I think performance is great, super popular. It works with power play, which is why they have it listed here. All of these do. 703. So this would be the, no, that's not the newest version. Why are these different? Is this a renewed product? Yep, renewed. That's what I thought. Here's the newest version. I do want to try this. So you have combos here. I'm assuming this would be the one I need to get with it. But anyways, with power play, so it has the hard or cloth mat that you can put on the top. I like playing on the hard mat. They always at about the 8 to 12 month mark bow. So now it has this, like, I don't know, it just bows up. I don't even know what causes it. And so the mouse can drift. Not as my hand is on here, but more when I put the PC to sleep. I'll let go of the middle and the mouse will literally shift a little bit and it'll click the PC back on. Just more of an annoyance, but the fact that it bows, I don't really like that. So you end up buying another hard top mouse pad, but it has to be compatible with the power play system here. Otherwise it's not going to work. All right, what other brands do we have here? Let's get into, Scepter's a brand I work with. Let's check out their monitor deals. And then we'll go Kuri for monitors as well. So let's just click on, we'll just have to go to their store page here. Let's see if we got deals listed on this too. No, let's just go gaming. All right, let's see what deals we got. 15% off, 30-inch, 1080p still though, normally $250. You can get it for $200, 20% off. 27-inch, 1080 IPS. I mean, depends on what you're doing, right? Because a lot of times if you're not worried about the resolution, you're finding these and they're like a little over $100. I think that's still a good deal. 24% off here. They're okay deals. 240 hertz if you need that. 1080p 32. Just depends on the response time as well though. So 1 millisecond, I'm assuming motion picture response time, if they even list it. Yeah, motion picture response time. So without seeing the ghosting, like the UFO test in person, I'm not gonna, because if you are able to pump out 240 hertz, but you have a ton of ghosting with it, that just kind of negates the point of the higher refresh rate. 32-inch IPS, 1440p, 144 hertz. I've not reviewed this one, but 29% off for a 32-inch, 1440p, 144 hertz. And again, it's going to be the 1 millisecond response time for the motion picture response time. Solid deal, $200. That's pretty awesome. I'd say that's a good deal. I've reviewed this one, no deal here though. I believe I've reviewed this one, no deal, and that's actually overpriced right now. 27-inch 1080p IPS. I mean, 1080p IPS, $120, especially if you're using something like you just need it for a secondary screen. I mean, you get that. No deals, no deals. No deals. Have reviewed this one, the IPS 2K, so 1440p HDR 400, 165 hertz, 1 millisecond response time, motion picture response time. Solid monitor, 22% off. I mean, if you're not trying to break the bank on a monitor, like this is, especially if you're coming from 1080p, could be an upgrade for you. Minimal ghosting with this, so even though it is the motion picture response time, it still has a minimal amount of ghosting. If you're dealing with a VA, or this is IPS, so usually that's why it cleans it up a little bit. But if you're dealing with specifically a VA panel, 1 millisecond motion picture response time, you're going to have some level of ghosting. IPS, you see that it's not as apparent. But really, if you won't need like an insanely fast monitor, you're going to have to go with an OLED, and they don't make OLEDs. Scepter isn't really, they're geared towards budget monitors. That's kind of the big thing that they're aiming in terms of their market slice. That's who they're trying to get to here. This, now I have reviewed this. This is, I don't know if it says what it should show. It's a 1000R curve. Yeah. For the price, $250. This is there's no deal on this right now, but this is a solid price. So 1440p, 165 hertz refresh rate, 1 millisecond motion picture response time. There wasn't a huge amount of ghosting with this, but again, expect that there is some. Covers 99% of the sRGB color space. You have a 1000R curve with this. Now at 27 inches, it's not as noticeable, but it does have a good curve to it. Really, the 1000R curve is, you're going to appreciate it more when you get something like a 49-inch monitor, right? Like the Samsung monitor, the Odyssey there. You do have adaptive sync. This is VESA certified for display HDR 1000 with this. So, good HDR. You don't have, it's not mini LED. You don't get, it's not an OLED. You're not getting that. So in terms of the HDR 1000, if I remember correctly, it either has none or it only has like 16 local dimming zones. So if you're dealing in content that you need local dimming, this isn't going to be right for you. But I'm assuming if you're hey, I'm on a budget and this appeals to you because it's only $250, that's not something that it's top priority and you're really worried about, right? Other version of this is the 32-inch version. I don't believe this has the 1000R curve with it, though. It might. Yes, it does have that. So a 32-inch version of it with a 1000R curve. Keep in mind the pixel density goes down as you go from 27 inches to 32. So it won't be quite as crisp. It still will be crisp, but just not as much as the 27-inch version. And this one's $310. Solid deal on this as well. These two, or I know I've reviewed this one. It's just, this is the same monitor, just again, a larger size here. I've reviewed this one. This was a solid monitor as well. No deal, but it's $300. Do they have, I don't know that they do. There's a lot of monitors that aren't, that they're just not listed on this. Scepter, whoa. 40-inch. Okay, I reviewed this one. Not available. This was a solid monitor. If you can find this on a deal and you want something that is bigger, 3000R curve with this. It has a gloss finish to it, so the colors do pop more, but you be mindful it's something that you would want with that. Haven't reviewed this one, but it's only 1080p. I think that's gonna be it for their deals. Let's go, let's see what, because I just reviewed the Kuri monitor here. So they have their gaming portion of the brand. I guess just go to their store. Gaming monitors, or let's check deals. 24-inch 1080p VA LED if you need something basic, $89. Gaming stuff though, 1080p, 16% off, not a big deal. So and then we list some of the specs here. 1080p, 165 hertz refresh rate. That's all it says. What's the 1080p, 165 hertz refresh rate? The base looks, these the same. What? Hold on. 1080p. Korea does this thing where they don't list their model numbers with a lot of their stuff, like right off the bat. I don't like that. These look like the same monitor to me. If there's a difference, it's subtle. They look like they look like the same. Anyways, we'll click on that here in a second. This one is the one I'm looking for. The deal didn't change. Okay, deal didn't change. Normally $500, 340. That's been the same deal. That's what I got mine for. That I just reviewed this monitor. I released that 2 weeks ago. I said I liked it a little bit better over the Samsung G5 Ultra Wide. It's basically the same monitor, calibrated slightly differently. So I think the colors here are more vibrant and better. Ghosting about the same with it. This just has more ghosting. That's where I would probably say if you are a hardcore gamer, you're not going to want something like this. It's just not going to appeal to you just because it's not fast enough. But that's not really a deal. It's the same price. What do we got here? 240 hertz mini LED. This one's new. I've not seen this. $70 off. Normally $400 or $500, $70 off. I'd want to test it. Display HDR 1000. The 240 hertz here does. That body on that is weird. DP HDMI 2.1. I'd want to review this actually, but I'll wait because I'm doing the KTC monitor, 27-inch, 1440p, 165 hertz, mini LED, HDR 1000. The only thing to be mindful of when you're looking at this is if you're going to do HDR content and do true 10-bit color, if it has it, you're going to have to drop your refresh rate down. So although the one I'm reviewing right now has 165 hertz at 10-bit just because of the bandwidth limitations of DP 1.4, I'm doing HDR 10-bit color, but at 144 hertz. So I'd assume this would run into the same issue there. 1440p, 140 hertz, 170 hertz IPS, 1 millisecond, most likely motion picture response time. I do like their aesthetics on these. I think they look good. $220. I don't know now because this other one just listed as like a prime deal. It makes me nervous. 166, 240 hertz, 1080p, 166. There you go. Okay, this one's 165 hertz. The other one was 240. I'm assuming that's the slight difference there. Give it a look. I don't know that those are massive deals on that though. Let's go Samsung. Let's check out the Odyssey monitors. So Samsung 32-inch Odyssey G55A. This is the updated version of the one that I reviewed, which is the most viewed monitor on the channel. Normally $350. It stayed the same, but they've done subtle upgrades. Seems like almost every year. Or I guess it took them about 2 years, and then they did an upgrade. I think they just did another one. But $350. This has the 1000R curve with it. I haven't reviewed this specific model. I did the original model. I'm hoping that the colors with this are better, but you have a 32 inch and a 27 inch. So that's the G5 right there. 165 hertz, 1 millisecond motion picture response time. 1000 arc curve is the big draw there. So we have that. The 27 inch G7, 240 hertz with this. So this is the newer version. Don't know. It should be the 1 millisecond gray to gray response time. Should have a faster response time on this. HDR 600, decent. You're not getting like full array local dimming. You don't have a bunch of local dimmings on. You don't get all that other stuff with it. It's just HDR, right? Yeah, they don't even say it. There you go. Gray to gray. Odyssey is gray to gray, 1 millisecond. So this is the faster. And typically with the G7, you do get that faster response time. G3, I've not reviewed one of these, but 1 millisecond, 165 hertz gaming monitor. This, I believe, is 1080p. So I don't even think this is 1440p. Motion picture response time here, meaning it's going to be slower. Samsung has an issue with their listing sometimes. It's like all the information they don't seem to put it on there. And the fact that they're not listing the resolution lets me know that this is just going to be 1080p. I've not used one of these yet. The reviews haven't been great. But the Odyssey OLED G9, normally $1,800. We got it for $1,400. I don't think this is the newest version, is it? These aren't the same. Price is the same though. HDR 400 with this, but it's an OLED. That has to do with the peak brightness. That is one of the limitations of OLED. Haven't tried this one yet. They just came out with the, was it the 59-inch version? OLEDs with that, look at that, the 0.3 millisecond gray to gray response time. Super fast pixel response there. I wouldn't say these are great deals. I'd just say these are kind of deals you're going to see all throughout the fall. 0.03 milliseconds. So this is the updated version here. The old version here, 1000 arc curve with it. Pretty sure both of these have the 1000 arc curve. Not this one. I did the Neo G9 as the one I reviewed. $900 if you need a super ultra wide. Again, this is where the 1000 arc curve makes more sense, but you have that option. The Odyssey G7, the 20-inch, 8-inch version here, I have reviewed this. I really do like this monitor. This is where it gets hard with these monitors, because at this price, it's a competitive market space between like the $400 and $600 price range. So when you're looking at something like this, there's too many other options. So they really have to bring a lot to the table, I think. And with newer monitors coming out all the time, I'm looking at this price, and you do something that Apple's really good at with other monitors on the market, not necessarily the same brand, because Apple does this, which is like that pricing step ladder where it's like, oh, this is like $100 off this upgrade, which is $100, and then you're all of a sudden you're $300-400 up this ladder. I don't know if everybody does it, but I end up doing it with these monitors. $500 for this monitor. Solid monitor, 4K IPS panel, 144 hertz, 1 millisecond gray to gray response time. Cool stuff with it, right? But then you look somewhere else and you're like, well, for another $100, I could get a 32-inch that has a curve, and I do want the curve. And so you're like, you start settling on that, and then you're like, well, for another $100, I could actually just get an OLED, and I could get the 27 or 32-inch, and then all of a sudden you're in that $800-900 price range for a monitor that has everything that you want. So it's competitive. I don't know. This should be a little bit cheaper at this point. If you can find this for like $450, I think it's a solid deal. The Arc $2,000. This I don't think this took off like they were hoping it was going to take off. I still want to try it, but 55 inches for that is wild. 25-inch Odyssey G4 IPS 240 hertz, 1 millisecond response time. A smaller monitor if you need something that you can travel with that's easy, but that price range here, you're going to find a lot of other options. 27-inch G65B, 240 hertz, 1 millisecond gray to gray response time, HDR 600, 1000R curve. So essentially you start seeing these older models, they rename them and then they put them out. $400, by the way, I'd say that that's a good deal. What you're looking at is the original version of the G7. They've just renamed it. Okay. But that's a good deal. I'd pick that up. OLED, $1,400. The issue that I'll run into here is that I'll see. Well, let me look at the thing here in a second. I'll answer some of the questions here in a second. But my 42-inch ROG PG42UQ OLED monitor is $1,400. And I have, now it's not 240 hertz, it's 138 hertz, 0.1 millisecond response time. It has HDR. Do I want a super ultra wide with a 1000R curve, or do I want something that's just bigger in general? Aren't going to hit the parameters of what you're looking for. The G8 OLED, $1,500 normally. Now it's $1,000. This I would say is good, because what you're looking at is the previous version, but you can get it for $1,000. Has basically everything else. Maybe not 240 hertz on the response time. I don't know what hardware you have in order to truly hit 240 hertz on a 49-inch 1440p ultra wide in a AAA game. Even a 4090, I don't think is really going to hit that. So yeah, you could future proof, but at that point, something cooler is going to come out that you're going to want. So this is where I'd say choose maybe something that's a little bit older. This one too is 34-inch versus the 49-inch. So do you need 49 inches versus the 34? Or like I said, I'll look at the ROG here in a little bit for what I have, which is 42-inch. Or do you need a 55-inch? Like, that's different, right? Let's see. Here is the G5 34-inch that I was saying. The Kuri, I think, is just slightly better, just based off of colors, but I really think it is the exact same panels. I think it's just the same panel. They have it calibrated differently. They don't even have this listed. Normally it's $550. If you can find it discounted, you can usually find it for around the $350 to $380 mark. I think that's it for Samsung. I'm not. The Odyssey series, if you find some of the deals, I think they're decent, but the really expensive ones, the discounts, you're going to find that the rest of the year. They're not anything special. LG, I saw this one earlier. This caught my eye. I have not reviewed an LG monitor. I have heard really good things about this though. 25% off, so $300 for an LG 34-inch 160 hertz 1440p monitor. Let's see what our specs are here. With 1 millisecond motion blur reduction. That just sounds like that. Sometimes I use this lingo in all this stuff where it's their verbiage for meaning motion picture response time, or just like general motion blur reduction. I don't know. Questions here. Odyssey Neo G7, just depends on which one. I'll go back through here in a second and look at some of those. VA panel here. IPS, I'd choose the IPS if I could. 34, 32. Let's look at this real quick. Sorry, something went wrong. All right. Let's try that again. All right, doesn't work. Not available. All right, here's the G9 I reviewed. This is not a deal, by the way. Again, this is the stuff that can frustrate me about Prime Day, or just the notion of these sales. Normally $2,200. Nobody's paying that price. So they'll list that as, hey, normally it's $2,200, but you can pick it up right now for, I picked up mine when I think I bought it was like $1,400. It's $1,400, look at our deal. And then it just stays at $1,400. Now you're looking at this, hey, look at it's down 42%. It's $1,276. That's not really a big deal. Like, in terms of like the way I phrase that, the deal that I'm talking about is like it's not a huge discount. To me, this at this point, this monitor should be right around $1,000. You have the mini LEDs here. It's not the OLED. I still did really like this monitor. I just think at this point, again, the price here, the notion that this is they're not listing it as an Amazon Prime deal, but like just saying like, hey, it's 42% off. It's like, this should probably be $1,000. This doesn't feel like a discount at this point, right? Let's see if this is going to be the Odyssey. This is the Neo G8. Like the Neo G8, it shouldn't, dude, $1,500 normally. Now they're saying, hey, look at negative 23% off. It's $1,149. That's not a deal. Like, this should be cheaper at this point. There's too many other monitors that have come out that have just shifted the marketplace here. And this was tested for like the HDR 2000 from Hardware Unboxed. It didn't hit the metrics on that. Some of the stuff was misleading with this. And they actually ended up liking the Neo G7 over the G8. But let's just look up. Let's do the Neo G7. Okay. Neo G7. I reviewed this. I thought it was a really good monitor. $900. So this is either mislabeled or they've made an adjustment to get it to, because I thought it was HDR 1000. I may be wrong on that. I think the big draw for the Neo G8, I thought it was originally the refresh rate because it is 240 hertz, and the fact that it was HDR 2000 over HDR 1000, but both are mini LEDs with the 1156 or whatever local dimming zones. Normally $1,300, $899. This should just be $899 at this point, in my opinion. It's not a deal to me. $900, again, it's just too competitive at that price point. You can buy, just for reference point here, this is where the list is going to help also for what do you want, what do you need. Because at $900, personally, I'd go with the LG C2 OLED, 42-inch, 120 hertz, which is fine. Maybe it's not 165, but it's 126 or 120 hertz. 1 millisecond response time. Gray to gray is going to be, I think, 0.1 milliseconds on that thing. So you're looking at a faster response time. Do you need the 1000R curve or not? It's a larger monitor, so I don't need the 1000R curve. It's going to have better HDR and blacks than this, by far. Even though you have all the local dimming zones, it's infinite because every pixel on an OLED is backlit, where this one only has 1156 or whatever spots. So it's still a good HDR experience, but I could literally buy, and we'll look in it here in a second, like what's the price on the LG C2? It's going to be cheaper than this, most likely, right? You may even get a C3 for this price. So let's look at that real quick. Evo renewed. Let's see if they even have deals. They may not even have Prime deals. Yeah, see, somebody bought all these up. All right, same price. I don't know what's going on with the 42-inch. They're probably sold out. That's the unfortunate side of deals sometimes. When I did my review of the ROG that I have here, with that one, I at the time looked, and I think it may have been $600. right? 650 to 750 for the 42 inch. Regardless, the 48 inch is $899, same price as that Samsung Odyssey Neo G7. The 32 inch, so you're going from 32 inches to 48. You get the OLED. The drawback is going to be worrying about burn-in, but that takes years to happen, right? And just there's certain adjustments that you make to your monitor. The taskbar needs to disappear. Don't have static icons. Change your backgrounds frequently. Like subtle things, right? Don't just leave your PC on. Just shut it off if you're going to walk away. But the HDR experience, like until you like see it in person, night and day. I'll take an OLED for sure over a VA panel if they're the same price, because the true blacks that you find on the OLED just blow away what you're going to see on a VA or an IPS panel. The pixel response time is just so much faster than a VA. Even if it is a 1 millisecond gray to gray response time, it's just faster. So HDR, the true blacks, the colors just pop off the screen in a way that an OLED or a VA panel and IPS panel just can't match. So I personally would go with this. And then if we're going to go up here, this we're going to see it's going to be in the thousands. But this is, again, like, dude, you can get a 55 inch C2 cheaper than you could get the Odyssey OLED. It's an ultra wide, and that's cool, but like that's crazy to me. Everybody bought these up. Like they're gone. Yeah. I believe Alienware has a 3-year warranty on the OLED. There's a question about that. At that point, yeah, like you're probably moving on to a different monitor. Just take care of it while you have it, and it's going to take a long time for that burn-in to actually happen. LG B2 55-inch OLED. I don't think this is going to have the fast refresh rate. That's going to be the difference there. So let's look at 42-inch C3, their updated version of this, $1,000, right? Pay the extra $96 and get this over the other Neo G7 there. Sony OLED, no. LG 48-inch OLED, $800, cheaper than the Samsung Neo G7. 120 hertz, 1.1 millisecond gray to gray response time. Yeah, I would go with this. Let's see if they have a 42 inch variant. All right, no. I have not. So I don't know how to pronounce this. I said Innocent. I reviewed one of their monitors. This has been on my list. This is where we start seeing like, hey, these panels, they buy them from whichever company. And then other companies come in and buy it. To me, looking at this, 48-inch, 138 hertz, 0.1 millisecond response time. This is basically the same monitor I have, because there is a 42 and a 48-inch version. It's the same monitor, the same panel. I'm going to bet money it's the same panel, just different brand. $849. That's a deal. Now they're joking with that. Normally it's $1,500 because at that price point, I'll go with the ROG because I know the brand and I trust the brand. And if anything happens, it's going to be an easier thing to send back. But $850. This is $50 cheaper than the Samsung, right? 48-inch, 138 hertz with this. HDMI 2.1. Like, this thing actually has lights on it. This has been on my list. Like, I do want to review this. I just got to get through some other monitors right now. Let's see what we have here. 43-inch 4K gaming monitor here. This is going to be most likely a VA panel, though. If you need something bigger, like, this is where we talk about the space being competitive. $600 for, this is a prime deal. It's normally $750, but this is I would say this is a solid deal. But the risk is always dealing with a brand like that. if there is an issue. I just don't know what that process is. That's what worries me, and I think that's why a lot of people go with other brands. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, so somebody talked about, like, they got a 4090, they're using the C2 with it, they love it. Asus next year. I am waiting for the same thing. So they announced last month they have these 32-inch OLED monitors coming out. Like, is it 240 plus hertz refresh rate? Like, it has the specs I personally want, because 32 inches is my personal preferred size. 4K, all that. I've used this ROG for a while. 42 inches when you sit close, it's a lot of screen. So 32 inches is something I'm hoping to get back to, but I'm waiting on the ROGs there. All right, so KTC, another brand here, 42-inch 4K OLED, 0.1 millisecond gray to gray, 130. It's like, I'm telling you, it's the same panel. It's just a different, it's just a different brand, different body. I'm currently working on. Let's see if they have the one I'm reviewing right now. Not that. Is this it? No. This one. It's going slow on me. KTC. Yeah. Is that the one? 4K. No, it's not the 4K. No, I didn't get this one. Mine was 1440p. Here it is. There you go. They have a lot of options. So this is one I'm currently reviewing. Should have waited for a Prime deal. No, I think this was the same deal I potentially got. Normally $600. I think I got mine for this. Maybe it was $499. So a little bit more discount on it. $40 more. 1440p. 1440p, 165 hertz / 144 hertz. So if you do the 10-bit color with this, that's where you're going to see it drop down to 144 hertz. Bandwidth limitation there. 1 millisecond mini LED, 1 millisecond motion picture response time. If I remember, they'll even list it. Not seeing. Pretty sure it's 1 millisecond, but it is mini LED. It doesn't have as many local dimming zones as the Neo G7, but we have 576 here. HDR experience has been good on this. You're talking about a fraction of the price also, but there is no curve with this. Not as many local dimming zones. Again, it's a brand where if something goes wrong, how's that process when sending it back to get repaired? Stuff that I think about and that I get is something people would be worried about, or it would deter them from going with a brand like this. But that's why I want to do the review. It has made a good first impression, though, I will say that. And it is certified HDR 1000. Okay. Asus TUF, the ultra wide that I reviewed, $399. Again, it's a competitive space. I still like that monitor. I still think it's good, but that's. I would look around a little bit, jot down what you want, and then look around a little bit before you commit to that Asus TUF. Just spend a little bit of time going through, hey, these are the specs that mean the most to me. This has it. What else has it? Neo G7 43-inch, $499 is a good buy. Yes, if you can pick up the one I reviewed. So I guess we didn't look at that one. Let's look at that one. It's a risk with the KTC. I get that. I'm reviewing it. It's made a good first impression. These deals are good looking at other monitors with similar specs from large brands. I don't know if everybody's going to be on board with taking that risk, though. So if you're not, wait until I get my review done with it. Or just look to other brands and pay the extra for the comfort of like, hey, if something goes wrong, I can send this back. Let's see if we can find the large one here. Well, yeah, there's their OLED. They're pushing it. Yeah, it's the Neo G7. I reviewed it. Large size, more ghosting than I would like to see, but at $499, that's a really good price. That's gonna be. I think I would take $499 on a deal if you're finding it like at Best Buy for the 43-inch version. Things to keep in mind. It is a slower response time. So if you're okay with some ghosting, if you're not, look into an OLED. Because it's going to be more noticeable on that larger size. The TV features, the smart TV features are pretty cool, but it's slower with the inputs compared to some of the other TVs with smart features that I've used. So pros and cons with it, but at $499, like, it's a good deal, especially if you're coming from something that's 1080p and not a super fast response time. It's going to be something that's going to be a big upgrade for you, which I wanted to look at. Well, QLED right here. It's not OLED. Samsung 43-inch Neo class. This isn't going to be 120 hertz, though, is it? No, they would have listed that. Yeah, just 60 hertz. But if you need a TV, what was the one? Let's look at the Innocent model. They're having some deals. I have reviewed one of their monitors, and it was solid. But again, lesser known brand. 1440p, 144 hertz, 40-inch. It is flat. It isn't curved. 95% of the DCI-P3, 500 nits, IPS. Solid specs on paper. Normally $599. Now you can get it for $399. Was it one of the comments about the? So we had the VG34 VQL1B from Asus TUF, $399. You're looking at, again, make the comparison here. The Asus has a subtle curve. This looks like it has no curve. No, they would have had that listed. Lesser known brand, but on paper, do you want a slightly bigger monitor? Still has HDR with it. It is IPS. 500 nits, so it's going to get quite bright. Decent color on it. Does it give the... local dimming? Local dimming on this isn't going to be good. Delta E is less than 2, which if it truly is, it's decent. 1200 to 1 for an IPS, solid. Something to look at. I'd say this could throw it in the ring, like for something that you would put against that Asus. Again, as long as you're cool with a monitor that is from a brand that maybe doesn't have the same resources, isn't as well known as Asus there. I'd say this is a solid deal. They have another one, 4K, 144 hertz, HDR 400, 1 millisecond. They're still not listing that. $383. because it's 4K, I think it makes it a slightly better deal. Most of these, by the way, and these, for lack of a better word, off brands, they give you things that the other main monitors don't, like panels with the molding setup and the stand setup for adjustments. Like my major complaint with the Samsung G5 was it just tilts. So when I'm looking at the Kuri 34-inch and I'm like, hey, it's basically literally the same panel with slightly better coloring. The upside in that is the panel tilts, swivels, and has height adjustment, where the Samsung just tilts. So we're finding these monitors with features that, yeah, you could go with a more well-known brand, but you may not get certain features. So there's just all these trade-offs and things to think about before committing. Yeah, this has speakers with it, like 4K for $383, 27-inch, 144 hertz. I'd say that's a good deal too. On my list to potentially review, the Innocent 32-inch 4K, 144 hertz, 1 millisecond, IPS HDR 1000, $800. Part of me just wants to review it just because I want to see if it earns, like, $800 being one thing. I don't think it earns $1,000 for sure. Does it list the amount tested? Sub delta E, 99% of the DCI-P3 color space, 1152 zones. So now you're looking at the Neo G7. All the adjustments, 2 5-watt speakers, 1 year. Most of these are coming with some type of 1-year quality service with it too. They just say 1 millisecond response time. Not gray to gray. I'm assuming gray to gray, but they're not listing. It is certified HDR 1000. I personally want to test this one out. A lot of these other brands, by the way, I've noticed they do always give you the color. Wrong word. Collaboration. Color calibration. In the box, which is always appreciated. So something I want to test out. I'd add it to the list. I don't know that I would commit to it right now if you need more security in your purchase there. I mentioned that, again, they have that 48-inch OLED, most likely the same panel as the one I have, but for $850, I think that's a good deal. That's a good deal right there. Look at that, $50 more, right? Over this one, you can get a 48-inch OLED that you know is faster. It has really good colors. Where's the one I reviewed? I don't want to spend a ton of time trying to track it down, because there is actually what I need to check on is what's the name of the brand? Pixio. There we go. I reviewed this monitor, and I was incredibly impressed with it. So I still have this, still use it. 20% off, $175. You're looking at a 27-inch, 1500R curved VA panel monitor with a 1 millisecond gray to gray response time that is truly fast. Very minimal ghosting on this. That's what the thing to me that was like, holy smokes, this only costs normally. At the time, it was $220, right? Didn't have the deal. It's like, dude, $220 for this fast of a panel with solid colors with it. It just had really good performance all around. They delivered a really good product to the market with this. So $175, this is a solid deal in my opinion. The fact that they don't really need to put it on sale. It's already a cheap price. Another one to add to the list, potentially. They do have a 4-inch version, right? Going back to Asus with the Tough there. Basically same specs. Biggest difference here is I haven't seen the motion picture response time. I haven't seen the response time or UFO test in person on this, so I can't speak to that. You're looking at 1500R curve with it. You get the fast charging that the Asus doesn't have. Height adjustment, and then looks like it just has, what is that, subtle rotation to the side. Most likely tilt. Does it even list it down here? 450 nits max. The Tough has higher nits. I think it has 500. I would like to see this as an IPS. Where's the other one though? Not that one. Where's the Pro 32-inch? Let's check their store. They have a 32-inch version of the here it is, the 27-inch version. It is not available though. No, wrong one. What's it doing? Oh, it's not even listing it because it's not available. That's why. So it just brings you to the same page. If you can find it, that is a really good deal. All right, now let's go. Let's just search. There's the Alienware, still overpriced, $1,000. Normally $1,200. I haven't tried it. I've heard good things, and I believe this would be the updated model where they made some changes to it. But I guess my issue that we've talked about a couple times is like this notion that it's a deal when it's just like that should kind of just be the price is what I feel about that. I could add it to a list and then compare it to some other options out there. But I don't think it's an amazing Prime deal. I've wanted to review this monitor for some time. And I usually see it on sale for normally $350, so that's kind of run-of-the-mill deal there. Response time 2 milliseconds. Don't like seeing that though. Let's type in monitor. Let's see what we got. 1080p, 2K. Did I review this monitor? Oh man, I may have reviewed this monitor. Decent price here, $283. 2K, 165 hertz, 1 millisecond motion picture response time, extreme low motion blur. You do have all the height adjustments and everything on it, and it has speakers. Where? This is their extreme line. Let's just click on the nope. Let's click on their store, see what we can find. Oh, Asus is going to have a ton. Displays. ROG. Here's my monitor. No sale. I that's one of the things I talked about in the review is the fact that they're still trying to hold on to this $1,500 for the 48-inch version, and I think it's like, so I guess it's $1,500 for this one. It's like $1,400 for the 42-inch version. It's like, dude, there's too much stuff has come out. Like, you have too many other options out there. There's mine right there. It's like you can't keep this price this way. You have to bring it down. And especially at the beginning of next year, where we're seeing that we're going to see a lot more of OLEDs coming out, even from Asus. You got to change that. 43-inch 4K non-OLED, $739. Well, for their like ROG side, they didn't really have any deals. Not even available. All right, 28-inch. Here's the one I reviewed. 28-inch 4K. I reviewed this one. It was really good. $600 and competitive space there. Again, it doesn't hit everything that you need. Smaller size, still IPS, which is good. It is fast. It looks good, but it's flat. To me, I wouldn't go with it personally because it's just smaller. Even though it's the 28-inch, not 27. I prefer 32-inch, especially if you can get it in 4K. It still looks really good. A little too small for me. Colors, performance was great. It is 1 millisecond gray to gray. Just not something personally I would go for right now. This is the one we just looked at. No major deals. There's a 35-inch. $30. A lot of these aren't even available. All right. Not even seen it. At least not on Amazon. I gotta look at that up there. So yeah, this is $469. So I wouldn't get the one, the VG 42Q whatever. I wouldn't get this one off of. You have a renewed one. Wouldn't go with that one. 1080p, 200 hertz, maybe. If you didn't want. Here we go. Okay, so this I might go for. I know there's not good reviews. It means they probably just got a bad panel. They're pissed off that they had to send it back. It happens. Swivel tilt height adjustment, so it does have all those adjustments. You do get the USB hub. This is basically an upgraded version of the one that I had. So you have faster refresh rate at 180 hertz. Better coloring. That was one of the big draws that I talked about. For this one, we have 1 millisecond gray to gray. This is a solid deal. It's not even a deal. They don't have it listed for lower, but I would say this is a good 3-year warranty on it. $400, 125% of the sRGB color space. And again, you're looking at the 1 millisecond gray to gray response time, not motion picture response time. Really good colors, fast response time. USB hub. Yeah, that's a good deal. As long as you don't need like top tier HDR, like I wouldn't get this. If I needed top tier HDR, I'd just go with an OLED. Like it's going to be a waste of time with this. But this is a solid deal. So yes, I would say this is a solid deal. I did want to look at this really quick. So this is the Innocent brand too. Again, panels coming and even moldings coming out of like one set company that just really sells them to these secondary companies that then sell them. This is the Scepter monitor that I reviewed. And I don't mean like it's kind of like the Scepter monitor I reviewed. I mean, it's literally the exact same 49-inch, super ultra wide. It's the same molding, the same everything. Just it's Innocent on there, not Scepter. The exact same. Everything is the exact same. Just a different brand. And this is all based off of a Samsung panel, by the way. So this is where we see the crossover. $699. I would say this is actually a really good deal. 26% off. Normally, yeah, it's for sure not worth $950, but $699. I think this is a pretty solid price if you need a 49-inch ultra wide with a good curve, 128 hertz. It was interesting with doing dual screens, basically two 27-inch monitors side by side. So it was interesting running an Xbox on one side and my PC on the other. It performed better on this monitor than it did the Samsung Neo G9. Newer monitor. So it actually performed better on this than it did that. So if you needed it for splitting the monitor up, I'd say this would be a good deal too. All right, covered a lot of monitor stuff. I just want to finish with, gotta hit up Gobi real quick, see what else I got. They always have a bunch of sales. These are all prime sales. TV, the immersion, I guess they're calling it InVisual now. I like this. It just adds a cool dynamic to watching TV. They have deals all the time, so I would say all of these are probably run-of-the-mill, like standard deals you're going to see out of them around Prime or Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Christmas, anything like that. Normally 90, 55, good. This is that thicker rope, decent. Outdoor, good deal. 65 feet for $80. I haven't used these lights, but $10 off. These are new. Round your house, 150 feet. Normally 550, now 336. Not something I would personally put up, but it's on sale if you need it. Regular LED light strip, $20 plus another $2 off coupon. Quick, easy to get. No sale there. Floor lamp, $60, so $40 off. That's a good deal. I haven't used their floor lamp though. The new curtains, normally $130, now $97. This is more enticing because their Hexa Pro just came out, and I saw it when it came out, and I was like, how much do they want for it? $250? Nah, I'm good. And I was like, all right, $200? No, I'm good. $200 minus $70? Maybe. I do like the look of these. So I'd say if you do the coupon, even though it's not a prime deal, I think $130, like that's, again, $130 is probably what this should just be as a normal price on it. So you have that. 100 foot for the outdoors here, normally $300, now $224. Good. Outdoor pathway lights, normally $170, $109 right now. I reviewed a similar product. I did like these. Haven't tried their brand yet. Outdoor spotlights. Get it for $59. So $89.99. Bring it down $20 plus an additional $10. Decent. Some of the stuff they do have though, like you need a heater, you need a water leak detector. Like they have some other weird stuff in here. Neon rope for outdoor. How large is that though? 32 feet. Outdoor lighting, 155 and decent, not great. Another InVisual deal. Here's our wall cubes. They just launched these, 130. The only thing I don't like is you have like a wire between everything. Cool concept, but you'd want to hide those wires. Curtains, all that other stuff. Floodlights. I do have one of these thermostats, by the way, in my office, just to monitor the temp in here. It's a cool little deal. I think I got mine on sale though for like $10 or $8. Sorry. Fine, nothing great. I do use these light bars for my B-roll station. I paid $50. You can get it even cheaper now. Solid deal. This doesn't look appealing to me, but that's an okay deal. Outdoor lights. And then all the same stuff. They don't have the... I reviewed the Gobi Glide. This is standard. This isn't even a deal. This is what you will always see with this. All these, you'll see the same deal here. And by the way, I've reviewed this. It was, but not the 100 foot, the smaller version. Wall lights, but they're circular. Decent. Smart plugs, heaters, humidifiers, floor lamp. Standard deal for them on this. Let's see. that's good because you get basically the Govee immersion. This is their TV Dream View, plus the 2 little light bars. That's good. You could also just use this on PC, by the way. Their newest one is a bigger sale finally, because when I saw that this thing right here was $300, I was like, no way. So it's basically the thing that replaced kind of the DreamView Pro, because it has the AI that detects. So you run everything through the box, and so it's picking up on what's going on the display, and then it's sending that information to the LED light strip and the bars there. So yeah, good sale, but I just don't like the fact that you got to run it through this box. Here's the ones I have. They're triangles for $109, solid price. Nanoleaf, it's a lot more expensive. I am not seeing it, so let's see. Here we go. And not even available. Well, this is what I have. There's that thicker LED light strip that I said. Yeah, I would keep looking around on the Asus Tough Ultra Wide. Just sometimes you literally have to comb through listings to find the exact one, unfortunately. All right, Nanoleaf is, I did want to check on them really quick. I have the triangles behind me. Let's see if they have anything on sale. That is a deal right there. I do like the triangles. Are you getting the small ones with this too? Deal. Especially, yeah, if you're getting the small triangles, this is a better deal than starter kit. That's a deal. There you go. Yeah, these are on sale. Nanoleaf does very specific, like 10, 20% off. You're never going to find these huge discounts for their products. Keep that in mind. Everything is very set. So I bought this. This is what I have on the background behind me for my second rig. So I got this and then 2 3-packs on top of that. And I do like what they offer. There you go. Just a 3-pack. Yeah, this is a standard sale for them. Yeah. But this is how you're always going to see it. You're not going to see massive, massive sales. But I do like their products. So, that's everything for this. I think I'm going to end this here. Covered a lot more than I thought, actually, with this. Now I got to comb through everything again and see what do I want to get for myself, because there were some stuff that caught my eye. I'm not going to get into housing stuff. Headphones. I actually review a lot of these too. Beats. Solid deal, but it's what you'll find towards Christmas. All of these are the same prices you're going to find throughout the rest of the year. Yep. You'll notice certain products. Apple owns Beats. You're going to see these same prices. So if you don't feel pressured into getting it right now, you're like, I got to save up my money. Do that. Just wait. Gigabyte. I forgot about Gigabyte, man. Here's their 34-inch. I heard this one was pretty solid. But 1 millisecond motion picture response time, only 90% of the DCI P3, HDR 400. You're getting all the adjustments, $359, so it is on sale. I reviewed the 32-inch, but mine unfortunately died on me after a week. Yeah. Let's check Gigabyte Store real quick, though, because I did skip out on them. 10% off. That's a good deal. There's the 27-inch version of that 1440p one I reviewed. These are IPS, so they're going to be fast. 1 millisecond gray to gray for 280. That's a good deal. The don't know if they'll have it here. No, they don't. Where's where's the M32U? Like, I've never heard of this brand until right now. Funai? I don't know. I've never heard of this. Like, here's another brand I'll have to look into. All right, M32U. It's the same price. There's not a sale here. Yeah, but I do really like this monitor. But we're not really. This is the same price it's been. 1440p, 1 millisecond. Here's a 32-inch 1440p, 165 hertz. This is a good deal. Very basic. They just take out all the adjustments that you would get on the screen here. And I haven't seen the response time there, but $240, good. We didn't look at Acer either. 28-inch 4K, 144 hertz, 1 millisecond response time, IPS, $470. It's too competitive at that price. It's a discount, it's a deal, but it's just so competitive there. It's hard to justify that price. Said it's a typo, 2 millisecond motion picture response time. That means this thing is crazy slow. Not crazy slow, it just means there's going to be more ghosting. I'd skip out on that. I think that is a typo, though. Here it is. This is the one that died on me. A lot of comparisons to the Samsung G5, just similar specs without the 1000R curve. 1440p, 1 millisecond motion picture response time, 94% of the DCI P3. It only has DisplayPort 1.2, $260. It's all right. I'd go over a Pixio with the Pixio over this, though, personally. Okay, I'm gonna get pulled back into reviewing more stuff or looking at more stuff. So hopefully that helped anybody looking at stuff. I spent more time on monitors than I thought I would. I was gonna see any cool sales on Xbox and PlayStation also, though. Let's just see what the Elite 2 controller is. Nope, no sale. I'm sure there are sales out there, but just specifically for this. PlayStation 5. Nope. And no sales there. You're going to find some sales on some games, but I'm not going to cover that. So, all right. That is going to be it for this one, everybody. I don't know if that I'll hop on tomorrow. I might, just because there's so many deals going on right now. But hopefully they're just combing through some of that and giving some ideas of things to think about before you go with a purchase for some of this stuff was helpful. But again, that's going to be it for this one. If you guys want to see more stuff like this from me, let me know in the comment section. I appreciate you guys just for checking in and tuning in on this. I'm going to check on the audio too. I don't know what was going on with that. That's weird. I'll try and go back through this and figure out what it is and see if I can remedy that. So thank you guys again for watching. And again, I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow, but if I do have a moment, I will hop on. It'll just be like really random with when I start. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.